Hey team, we are going to, whoa, let's keep that in check. There we go. Hey team, we're going to continue working on Crystals of Mabar. We're creating creature tokens for this adventure that we're writing in the Eberron setting that we'll be publishing on the DMsGuild once it's complete. Give me a second here. I'm going to check my signal and make sure that I'm coming through clearly. And so mic check, clearly. 1, 2, 3. And so mic check, clearly. 1, 2. Yeah, sounds like I'm coming through okay. I'm going to go through my intro spiel here. If you are catching me in the future after the stream, you can skip forward 2 minutes if you've heard my intro before. Otherwise, if you're new to the channel or you're here right now, hey guys, welcome to the team. We are, I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and then I publish them online. And I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past 5 years. I published the work that I create. It's been all on DMsGuild.com. There are a slew of links in the description down below that you can kick through a number of the documents that I've created. If you're here for artwork, there's probably about 150 different originals, 150 different illustrations throughout those books that I have created. And so if you go into any individual books, there'll be a free preview button underneath the book title if you're on a desktop. And if you're on a mobile device, then there'll be an eye icon on the right-hand side of the screen that you click on the eye icon or the full preview link. Either one of those will throw open a PDF that you can then click through page by page all the stuff that I've built. And if you think this stuff is cool, if you are a D&D enthusiast, I run campaigns from level 1 to 20 in about 200 hours to 250-ish. We did some great play testing with this adventure that we're creating, the Crystals of Mabar. So I'm really excited for you guys to share it. If you think any of this stuff is cool, consider making some purchases of the things that we've built to help improve your game or just to have some cool artwork laying around. You can also follow me on Twitter X, at Phil Kearney, if you want to get notifications of when I'm live in the future. Like just now, today, we're creating creature tokens. Hey, what up? And we also do artwork and post links of articles and stuff or ideas that we've had. So you can check that stuff out. Best way to support the channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications of when I am live in the future. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers. So if the stuff that we're doing here you think is cool, like and subscribe, stick around, shoot the shit with us here on channel, and I would love to have you. So this book cover we created around episode 40. We're currently at, anyway, we're at episode 177 of this Eberron art stream right now, and this was back in around episode 40, so you can go into the Wayback Machine of our playtest before we started doing all the map assets for this adventure and see how we created this book cover. And then we've been creating NPC tokens, and now we are back to making creature tokens. So give me a second here. I'm going to make sure that this isn't blocking. There we go. Blip. What was this? OT. So we built that last time. It's maybe it's not done, but it's a good sketch. So we build the thing, then we build a sketch, and then we go back through, we sweep through, and then we do a cleanup, a line art of it. And then once all the line arts are cleaned up, we'll go back through, we'll lay down flats of all the colors and like a comic book. And then when that's done, well, this doesn't seem right. Hold on. Oh, I see what happened. Cut, paste, merge. So we do the color flats for all of them, and then we go back up, and then we do detail work for all the color. And then the token is done. We put a transparent background. We add it to the zip folder that's included with the adventure. The adventure itself, like everything else that I publish, it's going to have 100% preview, so you can read the whole thing front to end. But again, the added strength is just the shitload of assets that we're putting into the zip file for you guys. All the maps, all the creature tokens, like map trinkets like tables and silverware and crap like that. But the little vignettes, mostly it's maps and NPC tokens that you're getting that you can repurpose and use for various reasons. And some of these things are huge. Like the final dungeon is a 74 by 74 square map 5-foot square, 1 inch a piece. But we have a black and white line art version only that gets broken up into 10 by 15 page spaces, so that you can take legal sheets like 11 by 17 pages, feed them through a printer, and print out each page, so you can actually tile all the pages onto your table without actually having to draw any of this intricate shit. We did all that work for you, and we break it up so you can print it out room by room, so you can lay down a room by room by room, and like here's the hallways that connect those rooms. So as the team progresses from one part of the dungeon to the next, you can peel off the pieces you aren't using anymore, and then add on the next piece. Gonna go left or right? Okay, then you add direction left maps, and you keep scrolling out the maps, and the DM just drops shit on it as he needs to. So we're trying to make it as practical to deal with large maps like mega dungeons. Deal with maps as much as you can in a physical space. And of course, if you're using a virtual tabletop, a 74-inch by like a 74 by 74 grid is well within capacity of what like Albert Rodeo or Foundry or other word I'm looking for equals Roll20, my favorite, of course. You can use, I mean, like Roll20 can do like 100 by 100 inches. So a 74 by 74, it's a big lift, but it's just a single document that once you drop it on, it'll auto align to the map grid, so it's easy. And then you can just do Fog of War and just reveal spaces as the team goes along, so that you have control over the environment. And there's so much fog in the adventure as atmospheric disturbance that if you just leave permanent Fog of War on and then provide them with a light source, so that you have a set 20-foot radius, that's the amount of distance that you can see through the fog. So there's a lot of visibility limitations to help claustrophobize the characters inside of the game. I mean, they're 8th level characters, so this is going to limit their role to have to deal with threats as they get approached. But of course, the undead, their vision isn't limited by this stuff at all. It's also not darkness; it's fog. So it's not like night vision can cut through it or anything. You have to have something like True Sight, which or like a Tremor Sense at a greater range. Your characters aren't going to make that shit. So it's pretty good stuff. We are building a Barghest right now. So there's Barghests running around the forest. Let's let the internet remind us what a Barghest looks like. Whoa. Bad news Barghest on the roll, yo. Let's just take a look at Candy here. Images. That's the one from the player's handbook, not monster manual. That one's not bad. That's pretty cool. Demon Hound Barghest. Greater Barghest the ball. It's kind of like the Werewolf of London's version of werewolves. They were mostly quadrupedic, with like humanistic limbs. So I like that stance. That's pretty cool. There it is again, but in reverse. There's a lot of reversals going on in this world. That's decent. That haunch and the forearms looking like arms. You are not a Barghest. Step aside, Clyde. That's it. No, that's a cool Barghest. Now let's go ahead and look in the D&D Beyond. Plop, plop. And let's look up Barghest. Berg. Let's see. Oh, I should probably start a timer here, huh? 20-minute timer on the block to make sure I don't fall down any rabbit holes, whether they be conversation points or details on the illustration to keep shit moving. Large fiend. Typically neutral evil. Wowzers, Bendowsy. Bigums. CR4. Description. Long ago, the god Muglabliet conquered, and then Lord of early Goblinoids bargained with the generals of Gehenna for aid. The general provided Yugolos, which then died in servitude of Moglibliet. Yet, when the time came to honor his part of the compact, Moglibliet reneged on the deal. In vengeance, the general of Gehenna created the soul-devouring Barghests to devour goblinoid souls. The mission of every Barghest implanted in it by the general of Gehenna is to consume souls, to eat these souls by devouring the bodies of those it kills, preferably goblinoids. A Barghest hungers. God, just give me a description. Barghest yearns, blah blah blah. Barghest avoids contact, any conflagrations. There happens to be you lost in this adventure. Spoiler alert. So that actually really pans out nicely. That's no description, huh? I guess they figured the illustration is good enough. All right, Chief. Created Barghest, huh? Let's go with D&D 2nd edition. I like a written description if they're available. Barghest. Lawful evil, number of pairing. Thank you. Okay, great. So, ahead of the rifts of the plains of Gehenna, Barghest is certainly the most common and one of the most fearsome. Barghest's natural shape is very much the same as that of a large goblin, and when dwelling among goblins, it generally retains that form. While it appears to be a large goblin when it is a whelp, its skin darkens from yellowish to bluish red as it grows larger and stronger, and eventually its skin turns an even blue at adulthood. The eyes of the monster glows orange when it is excited, but otherwise they are indistinguishable from those of a normal goblin. A Garbest is also able to assume the form at will the form of a large war dog or wild dog. Hence, the creature has oftentimes been referred to as a devil dog, but this is a misnomer. Claw, bat routine. Claw, bat. Okay, so we're just gonna make it like a really goblin-y looking wolf. Okay, number 1. I'm on board with this quest. Let's go, Captain Barghest. Willie, man, what you got going on, my dude? Let's get rid of that A so it doesn't confuse people. The locals get confused when I start making up words. Barghest. Barg. There, Barghest. The best Barg of us all. One. I gotta say, it has been a real joy. It's been a long slog, but an incredible joy building this adventure. I never realized how much went into building adventures. I have a new level of respect for this process, but am actually very proud that I've been able to punch through it and continue building. My hair is too wet. It looks all... I like it when it's tufty and wavy and like sweeps nicely. It doesn't really do that when it's wet. It looks kind of like the Beatles, but long. Anyway, okay, so let's stop. Let's stop preening, I should say, and let's just build ourselves a badass fucking wolf. Terrorize the night. So you guys, you're gonna start off in a village. If you start from the so there's 3 acts. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Act 1 is at the beginning, and you could start, if you want to run this as a one-shot, you could start as late as Act 3 in the final dungeon, already aware of what's going on, no mystery. You were sent there to fucking fix problems with extreme prejudice. No matter who your patron is or what their perception about this undead manifest zone of doom is, whether they're in favor of it and want to control it or see it as a threat and need to destroy it, you are aware of what's going on. If you're doing a one-shot, you know your goals, and you are ready to tear apart anything that gets in your way of achieving it. But you can start early. You can have less and less details available depending on how you, as a DM or the team, want to run the adventure. So it could be a one-shot with you just basically teleporting into the dungeon, weapons drawn with extreme prejudice, knowing the score. You could be hired to investigate what is known to be some sort of a problem. And here's our general gist of what we think is happening. So you go in half aware of what the scenario is, so you can make some fair assumptions about what you run across as you see it. Or you can start, and that could be anywhere from, that could be in Act 3, or it could be in Act 2, or that could be Act 1. Or you can start off completely ignorant of what's going on in the situation. There are 2 distinct plot hooks that presume you don't know anything that's going on. And the way that the adventure is written is from that perspective. And then we have an appendix of like, hey, if you're doing this as a one-shot, here's some other plot lines you can use with different motives, different information, and even some magic items and stuff to help you achieve your goal more easily so you can get it done as a one-shot. So here you go, good luck, go hunting. But the adventure assumes that you're using one of the ignorant plot hooks. Either you're recruited as a deputy for a local sheriff that doesn't have time to investigate all of the post-war shenanigans that are going on in the across the plains of Karnath. They don't have enough resources properly mobilized yet to secure their lands against invading halflings, and they need somebody reliable to deputize to go and check out these little hamlets that are popping up that don't have any official standing, aren't paying any taxes yet, and so aren't really being assigned any sort of priority to local authorities, like, at all. So, but they could become meaningful citizens at some point. So let's just send out some. There's a lot of expats, or not expats. There's a lot of veterans that may not have work yet. That maybe we can find some that would like to be deputized, that know their way around weapons, that have maybe they have MP background. So, you know, they've got a little head about them, and your characters, assumedly being from the area where the adventure is taking place in Karnath, would qualify as that. You are veterans of the last war. You're looking for mercenary work, and it's nice to be given a job that is, legal. So that's the perspective that the adventure is taking. That you want to be on the good side of the law. So you're performing this task as basically a what's the word I'm looking for? Tryouts to become actual authorities, right? So you're being deputized to test your mettle, to see if you're worth your kick. And so as you're going through this adventure, you have badges and authority to ask questions in the name of the Karnathi government. So it makes social interactions with the things that can be from the things that aren't undead or demons. You have the authority to ask questions and be able to, take action if you get sassed. So there's a great opportunity there for the characters to have some really straightforward social interrogation, investigation sort of stuff, and be given access to a lot of conversation points that might be difficult if you're using one of the plot lines where you're trying to sneak in, or like you're actually working for the bad guys trying to take control of the situation. Like, you can run into different types of hostility in that means. So this is a really gentle, very easy to, we're giving you all the tools here for you to be able to access. Like, even the mercenaries that are working for the bad guys are like, hey, we're mercs, we're vets too. We thought this was a legitimate gig. This shit's getting in over our heads. We're actually kind of glad that some law enforcement showed up. We're happy to show you where you need to go, and we're just going to kind of like step aside and, let you do what you want to do. And you can even use them as reinforcements if you get on their good side. But if you show up as an invasion team, they're going to be like, whoa, we're going to have to knock you down. So then you have to fight the mercenaries and the necromancers that are running the place and all the demons and undead. So it becomes worse and worse news for your characters the further into the adventure you start. You start at the very beginning and you have authority. These mercenaries are going to be like, hey, we recognize your authority here. What do you need to know? Let's step out of your way. These are zealots. They're never going to listen to you. Good luck. If we go against, and depending on how good of your social skill checks go with these guys, they'll most likely say, hey, we have a reputation to maintain. If we rat out our employer like this, we might be helping you as deputies, but we're suiciding our own career. So we're just going to choose to step aside and just let you do you, boo. And if you do really well on your social engagement checks, then they can be like, hey, we want to be on your team. We would love to, if they're recruiting for law enforcement stuff, that's so much better than the sketchy shit. What can we do to help? And will you give us a good referral if we do? So you can actually win over the entire mercenary troop to help you overcome the enemies. At which case the DM can just, increase hostility with higher CR threats, more demons, less skeletons. Make it more fun. Or you can use it as a recruitment ground. If your characters get killed, you can recruit from the ranks of the mercenaries that are just kind of letting you do this thing. And so you can start recruiting people in to replace your characters that have died. So, and again, this is an 8th level adventure, so there's a lot of abuse that the DM can punch out. But this is the basic frame that we're going, and I in no way feel that this is probably content. That's very much it's got a wide grip, so it has an aggressive feel to it. But I think I can get a lot more now that I have an idea of what it looked like. That, like, as a structure, as a machine, a vehicle, I'm pretty happy with that stance. I mean, that structure. So, but I'm not happy with its attitude. So I'm going to see if I can mess around with the anatomy and the angling a bit. Create something a little more satisfying for myself. And folks that have been here a number of times have probably heard me talk about all that stuff like over and over again. But that creates a ton of flexibility. We're building this thing to be something that professional DMs that run the same content over and over again would enjoy using as a mid-level character option for people that are doing one-shots or, looking at running a campaign that starts a little earlier on or is interested in Eberron, and that a professional DM might be looking for some sort of content that they can use. So we want to make that available as, something that would be uniquely beneficial for a DM that knows that they're going to run this thing over and over and over again. So that was the idea behind that. And it's a sample of the type of design philosophy I have for building adventures. And I created this adventure as an example of how adventures can be, how you can use this sort of mentality frame to build into the type of content that you build. So there's a whole book I was creating about, hey, here's an idea about how you can create adventures if you think this is cool. And during that process, I had so many examples I had to give of how to like thread plot lines together, or how to Jacques your plot, or how to bounce between combat, social, and exploration encounter options during an adventure, or like when the team tricks you out of a combat encounter into a social encounter. Like how can you play that out, and how can you improvise that sort of stuff? And I kept having to come up with example after example of like, hey, here's a scenario where characters are blah blah blah. I said let's just write an adventure and make it, of course, free preview, because it's mine, so of course it's going to have a free preview. And during that process, we can say, hey, go check out this free preview, page 36, to see where characters can convert a combat encounter and how you would turn that into a social encounter instead. So there's like live examples in an adventure that's been playtested by multiple DMs and multiple player tables. So we playtested this thing for like 4 months. So, and we had multiple tables, like 17, 18 different players overall. I know that's not huge, but it's a lot more than a lot of people do. So I'm proud of that. And we've had 3 DMs, myself and 2 others. The other 2 were third-party players that just liked the stuff, that were... one of them was a participant as a player in the playtest. Another one was just responding to say, hey, I'm just looking for a random DM that wants to fuck around with this thing. What do you think? So he ran it for his team. He was like, yeah, I love this. It was easy for me to adapt and blah, blah, blah. Like very, very complementary things, and just basically had some balance issue questions like, hey, you know, this kind of got gummed up over here. Like, we need to look about like how can we thin down the number of targets that they're fighting during the final fight. So because our team was exhausted by the time they got there. So like we didn't want to overwhelm them. It's like, well, we need to build in some more short rest locations, the opportunity for the team to bail out, to take a long rest to get back in. So we had to build all that machinery into the adventure so that we could take care of that problem. And we have successfully built in that machinery so that the team can withdraw from the situation and get long rests if they want, even though they're actively investigating the area, especially if they get on the side of the mercenary troop that you interrogate. Because if they're like, if we help these guys, we're going to be looking good. They can just keep a blind eye to you while you're taking long rests, checking out the area, gathering evidence. They can try to help keep undead off of you. Basically, as like an NPC to help reduce the amount of damage that the team is passively going to take while they're investigating these areas, and be a real asset to the team. So, but you can back off and do short rests or long rests if you need to. The DM can. There's mechanics in playing out how long it's going to take to complete these rituals that the necromancers are attempting to do. There's fail states and fallback states, and a bunch of ways for the DM to be able to manipulate time and threats that are on the table depending on what power the team has accumulated. You can start at 6th level if you want to and burn through like 40 hours of content till you get to the final conflict where you would be 8th level, and then level up to 9th level so that you're staying in pace with the adventure supposed to be, but you can start it off at a gentler curve in the beginning. Fun stuff like that. Good stuff. I'm trying to think about goblins while I'm building this out. So I need to have a shoulder structure that's similar to bipeds, but built strong enough to be a quadruped. So that's the anatomy that I'm funking around with right now while I'm yammering on about the game. And I've talked about a lot of this stuff before, so it's kind of empty brain space that I can just kind of dump words into while I smash out some doodles and sketches. But it always leads into new conversation points. So I'm just waiting for me to wind down with all the stuff that I've talked about in the past for folks to catch up with. Hey, what's up, guys? And we'll grind into the muse will probably come up with something fun to talk about, and we'll just listen to what she has to say. Goblin, huh? Goblinoids. I don't think it said goblins specifically, did it? It just said goblinoids, which is also like bugbears and hobgoblins. Let's double check that shit. Large goblin specifically. Goblin. Okay. Goblin. So let's turn this track of thought off for a second. I'm kind of liking that in general. That's a more aggressive pose and it feels better than the prior. So we're on the right path. But since we're here, let's take this one down further. Let's take this one. Okay. Here's a real question. Let's check out Pathfinder bar. See if, I don't know if Pathfinder has one. Pathfinder Wiki, I don't know if it has illustrations for it. There we go. Where Barghest Goblin? Greater Barghest, interesting. Let's check that one out. This is the kind of shit I was thinking about. That's some good, yeah, because the way that goblins are shaped with their big head and their lanky bodies, and this if it's supposed to be, yeah, that's actually well done, sirs. Where Barghest, huh? Congratulations, this is a really good piece, guy. Who is this? Sun Zerd? Congratulations, man. This is a great piece. That's a great piece. Neat. I think I'd do the head differently. Yeah. I like that. That the way that the body's moving in, those hips are moving out. I was trying to achieve that here. You can see that. Very similar. But I wanted to get that. I wanted to get those goblin proportions. This is a great job, son. Well done. Well done. Thanks for the inspiration. Now let's go Pathfinder Goblin. Gub. The lankier the better. Come on, buddy. I need a midriff. I need to see a midriff here. That's what I'm looking for. This one's probably going to be good enough. Ah, beep. That one's okay. Huh? That's great. Pot belly, buddy. Let's go with that one. That one makes me happy. So we'll copy and then this one brings me joy. There, and let's push him into the back. Bloop. Goblin, and let's reduce him down further still. Cool. All right, from here, I think we can probably come up with something fun. I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit and just work in the small. And once the small is resolved, we can blow back out. So here. Big old turnip head. I love holidays and having time off on my schedule. I'm going to have a lot of time off during Christmas break between Christmas and New Year. I typically take that week off work and pretend I'm a full-time content creator. So I'll be able to have similar stretches of production for the various pieces that I'm working on here at the end of the year, which will probably be all the same stuff that we're working on right now. It's gonna be more of the same, just more of it. So if you think this shit's fun, jump on board, because there's more coming. Play 1, 2, 3, 4. Bop, 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 bop. There. Here, and it's got that switchback because it's a runner type. Forward even more. Get a bend. This backlight just needs some work. Figure out the right pose for that. I also want to push this back. How many fingers you got, little man? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and a thumb. 1, 2, 3. That makes sense. 1, 2, 3. Maybe like that. Oh yeah, I think I'm okay with that. All right, cool. Let's see if I can build this out into something that looks decent. We can use that coloration for later. Let's pull this up here. Let's see how it fills the space. I think we can do something with this, huh? Yeah. This isn't even my final form. No. Okay, so that leg's going to be hidden. This arm is tucked back. This arm is forward. creating quite the angle I want. I don't feel like he has the torque, you know? Gotta work on that face angle. Am I making anything happen here, I think? I think I want to stub up that arm a little bit. Goblin Hunter. It's pretty fun. There we go. Now we're getting a good tilt. I'm pretty happy with that. And some name said Zool. Well, there's no Zool here now. Mugubliet. That's a fun demon name. Hit bone. Connected to the suffer bone. There we go. That's starting to look sinister. Zool. Lovely singing voice you must have. That's starting to look pretty cool. Let's just darken this up to make those eyes shine real good. That feels pretty cool. second. That's unexpected. Get our angles good. And we're going to pull this in a touch as well. How's that? Oh, that's feeling pretty damn good. Nice. Oh, man, look at that. That shit is coming together, man. Yes. This is the kind of shit I want you to have to fuck around with. You're 8th level. You should be dealing with nightmares like this on the regular. Yes. Yes. There's my 20-minute marker, right? So we're talking about having a 20-minute marker to make sure that I don't get trapped up in anything too specific. Start that up again. Another 20 minutes on the block. Yeah. I am almost okay with just letting this go for now. Just to move on to something else, just to keep our energy moving today. Just want to keep moving. I've been hyper focusing a lot of my attention on Spelljammer, and I've been releasing stress by working on the Martial Powers book, while also obligating myself to Andy, who helped me co-write this adventure, in creating a book cover for him, which I've been working on Saturday. And I'm really feeling like editing production and communicating with Stuart, our editor, has really followed over the past few weeks, and I feel really bad about that. And I want to try to get my shit back up into gear. And I'm hoping to finish up the book cover that we're working on, so I can take that off my plate, so that I don't have as many priorities pressing on me, so that I can prioritize stuff that I have in this adventure, and then the Martial Powers stuff that we're going to be doing, the adventure we're going to run for that isn't that's much more casual, so that doesn't have any pressure. And once the Spelljammer book gets done, having this be my morning project is just going to guarantee a lot of production time. And I think that's about where we're at with it. Hold on, I got some text coming I got to pay attention to. I got sent a picture of the moon, and apparently the sky's doing cool color stuff. And I was just saying, hey, I'll have to download it in Photoshop and take a look at it later on with you. And my gal sends me cool pictures and references like bushes and trees animals and stuff on occasions. Like, hey, I know that you're looking for this reference thing, so here's something that I saw, and it's like, she's just such a sweetheart. I love that. But I think, yeah, I think that's honestly, I think that's pretty damn good for now. Boink, 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 Barghest. It's not, you know, it's a sketch. It's a rough sketch, but I think this is a good place for, like, I think it's a good place to stop for now. Actually pull this in. There, that's nice and crouchy. I like that. These things are large. It's like, this is like a... There's a 10 by 10 square that this monster occupies. You're like this big next to it. Hello. This is you next to the Barghest. You are going to get mauled. That's like having a bear come after you. Except the bear's smarter than you. And it's made of evil. Hold on, I'm getting flirted. Super fun. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I like that foreshortening. I think that's really working out for us here. Cut this out. You better cut that out. But I like it. I like it there for reference. But yeah, that's a 10 by 10 Barghest, all right. That is something I am very, very happy with so far. Actually, I think I want to... Can I pull this back a little bit like that? No, that doesn't seem to be working. Oh, yeah, because I got to keep... Because of its structure. That feels probably appropriate. There. Like that. Yeah, that's a hostile pose, my guys. All right, we're going to leave the Barghest there like that. Let's stitch you shut, and now we have Plague Hound. Plague Hound. Hey, what's up? Yeah, man, Barghest. If you don't know what a Barghest is, you can check it earlier in the stream. We were looking at it. It's a demon that Yugoloth made. The Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms lore would be that the god of goblins betrayed the Yugoloth and tricked them into giving the goblins resources that the Yugoloth wouldn't have otherwise done when the Yugoloth, or whatever his name is, Yugoloth, betrayed the Yugoloth. They've been created the Barghest to hunt goblins. So there you go. Yeah, fun stuff. But yeah, fun stuff. I'm really happy with that pose. That turned out very, very nice. Very nice. Let's go. We're going to make a Plague Hound. Plague Hounds are just dogs that are basically have like a really necrotic form of rabies. So let's create a necrotic rabies dog. Body horror warning. Body horror or trigger warning. You got it? Body horror trigger warning. So heads up there, if you need a safety valve, go ahead and punch release. And let's get feral. So make a doggy dog. Got about 2 hours, so we got like another. We've been live for an hour. We got another hour left in us, so we can punch out a bunch of other stuff. Just doing sketchy stuff at this stage, so. It's awfully regal for a. Well, you gotta start someplace. So let's just start someplace. I don't have to worry about it so much. Get into it. Hey, what's up? Hey, Jeffrey, what's going on, my guy? Happy to be here with you guys. I was sick earlier this week, and I think I was sick for like. Well, I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering. But when I first got hit Monday afternoon, that shut me down from doing any Eberron stuff that evening, and then it was holiday here in America, so nothing on Thursday, so I really felt I owed it to my partners in production, as well as to anyone else that gives a shit, to punch out some content today. And since I had the day off because of the holiday, I took the extra day. We've been doing a lot of stuff, and I'm really happy that this is going to be the last of production I do for the day. It's really feeling good. I'm getting kind of a hoarse feeling going on here. I got to be careful about that. Droopy tail, sad times. Let's droop him a bit more. Looking at martial powers today was so much fun, man. I had such a blast building out the Kinsei. That was so fucking fun. This is just, God, that martial power project is so good. I just get so stoked and excited about that project. Plague Puppy. Let's get diseased. I haven't had any. Okay, so I have my home table that I run on a weekly basis, and they're level 20 right now. And but I haven't ran a play test since we were making sure the Spelljammer mechanics worked. So it's been like a good probably like 6-7 months since I've had any playtesting at all. So I've only been running one table, and I'm starting to feel it. We had before the Spelljammer stuff, we were playtesting this adventure that we're writing here, and that was for a few months, and that was fun as hell. And that is those. Those two different, and then we had the In Command playtest that we were doing using the Horde of the Dragon Queen, Greenest in Flames, as well as Descent into Avernus to do our mass combat system, which led into the vehicle combat system, which led into Spelljammer, which had us converting Descent into Avernus into a Spelljammer campaign, which was super fucking fun. And that we had like maybe 14, 15 different playtesters during during that from level 5 to 15, and that ran for, I guess, a couple months. But it's been a while since I've had any playtesting teams, and I consider DMing as like running playtest as a DM is as enriching and fulfilling to my heart as running my home table, because it's stuff that I'm getting good feedback on, stuff that I'm producing here on screen with you guys, and I'm getting external feedback and critique, and changes that needed or things I didn't perceive. So I get the nourishment of being able to run improvised games and build campaign kits and just run as a DM, just often for the sheer entertainment of running a game. But it's content that I will then convert into a book and put out on DMsGuild for people to consume. So there's a large level of satisfaction that I gain when I get to run a playtest, and I'm really excited that Martial Powers is up in rotation for me to do playtesting for. So I've been quite giddy about that recently. Thinking more and more about the toolkit that I'll need to build to make the thing work, and how actually useful of a toolkit that's just going to end up being in general as its own product. So I'm technically getting to playtest not only the Martial Power system, but the hex crawl system that we're building to playtest the Martial Power system. We're also playtesting the hex crawl system. So I'm getting a twofer there, so I'm even more excited about it. Trying to get body posturing here. Yeah, first, I think I just want to make sure I get the posture good. And then we'll worry about all the specific details when we get to the specific details. This feels pretty good. Out. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. Where's our timer at? The timer disappeared. Oh my god, here's my face. I have to get my hair trimmed. It's so there's a lot of split ends, and it's light and fluffy. And every time the little light and fluffy stuff gets in my face, it's just itchy as all get out. That's a good indication that you got hair, you got dead ends that's got to go. Let's skew this a touch to bring it down, and then free transform to rotate it. There we go. Drop its hips a little bit. No, I need to keep the angle. I need to keep the hips up so the angle stays sharp, so that the leg can be front on. So I can have that tight angle like that and still represent the leg properly. There we go. Kind of like that. have a Chihuahua kind of vibe going on. Feels like. Chihuahua. There we go. Feels pretty good. Bar guests as devil chihuahuas. That's fun. Prop myself up here. I need to take a sip. Pour myself another glass. It's been 4 days and I'm still on Dayquil. I'm getting old, man. I am not bouncing back from stuff nearly as fast as I used to. I am concerned about that for my future in life, as I'm sure most men are, or humans in general, because I never considered my ability to be productive would be limited, although it's totally realistic to think that it would be, because aging is a thing I keep seeing all around me, and it's been a problem for everyone else. Why wouldn't it be a problem for me? Because I'm different? I'm liking that. That turned out really good. That's a kick-ass little sketch, man. I'm happy with this dude. Keep it kicking. Where are we at? 4:30. It's not late. It's early. God, this shit's great, man. I love sketching. I have always been in love with sketching ever since I wanted to not pay attention to whatever the hell it is that my teacher was talking about in lectures. Just loves just sketching. Put down here like that. So, hey, what's up, text? Last time I overextended a ligament, it took a whole month to recover, and I remember being an invincible youth that bounced back the next day. I got hit by a truck driving 60 miles per hour while I was walking across the highway, and I went back to work the next day. That was when I was 22. Oh man, I was indestructible when I was young. I fell off cliffs, walked out into fucking traffic. So I'm really blind. So I mean, I make mistakes, and like the mistakes I make are like, wow. I almost fell off a 200-foot cliff once, but luckily I caught myself on a branch. Terror. Oh man. Yeah, he walked it off. Exactly, man. Geez, torn ligament. That's just... My dad, his appendix ruptured in his body while he was golfing. He took a knee. He took a knee. And it's like 2 days later, it's like, I don't feel good. It's because your appendix exploded and it's rotting in your body. Getting the surgery. He's like 77. Like, what a monster. Dad, I love you. He had a brain tumor. He passed on a year ago. But God, while he was still with us, man, he was just Indestructible. There we go. That's feeling nice and lanky. I like. God, I really like that. Let's make it achy. I'm going to actually copy this. Duplicate your layer. Keep it on the do not side. Here's where the body horror starts to kick in. So watch your huevos. God, torn ligament, man. I just walk that off. It'll stitch shit. It'll sit shut in a couple days. Let's have a beer. Rah. What's up, Willie? Any better, but dumb enough to feel. You. Yeah, no kidding. It's almost like when you're young, your ignorance is a shield against horror and tragedy. I mean, obviously not everybody wins, but there's a ridiculous amount of miracles about people walking away from stuff. You know, sometimes literally, from things they should not be able to walk away from. It really makes you question, you know, how much of reality is really a placebo effect. You know. Wow. It's the sad in the eyes that's gonna make it such a horror thing. These are not happy dogs. They've got like necro rabies. Like they're victims just like everyone else is. But you want them wilted and kind of gross. It's a puppy, so you know, puppy trigger. No one should make their pupper suffer, huh? Well, we do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except for the ones that are dead. You done treat that puppy wrong. Minus 20 subscribers, chump. Don't fuck with people with petos. Pet-os, not the other thing. That's a T-O, not D-O. Filters, Google, filters. Context. There's these little colonies of crystals that form all over your eyes, like your tears gunk up with black little crystals that start to crust. It makes your eye fuse shut. These dogs have issues seeing that much crystal starting to coat in their mouth, and anywhere there's wet tissue matter, like in their nose, around their mouth, it's just gonna get gunked up with just constant crystal encrusting everything until it choke on it and you drown. It gets down into your lungs and starts to crystallize inside your lungs, and then And then you die and turn into a fresh dead, and you get swollen, and then your belly explodes with all that Vulpinolitharia, the stink rot that blows up everywhere. Oops, wrong button. Nice, Jeffrey. It has all these wet wounds, like gangrene, but again, it grows these blackened crystals. So its emaciated body is getting encrusted with this extraplanar gunk that just wants to kill you by infecting you with its ick. Little wounded spots back here with little crystal colonies on it. So I end up doing like little sparkly effects back here maybe. Some joints get all encrusted and you start to get stiffed. Stiff in the bones. Big old crystal lumps on its face. Just feeble. Big rot on its belly. It's like the only thing that's keeping its innards in is the fact that there's just crystals overgrown the wound. Yuck. Yeah, that feels better. Probably need to pull this up. They're building a Chick-fil-A next to where I live. I used to eat Chick-fil-A all the time in college because one of my D&D players, she worked there. So she'd get off work, come home with a stack full of Chick-fil-A burgers, and just dump a bounty of Chick-fil-A on the table. It's like, earning my keep. It's like, God damn, yeah, you are, Sister Soldier. She played a 2nd edition psionicist all the time. And it was so funny. We would... D&D 2nd edition was so much malarkey. It was fun. The way that the team would work is that they would hide in each other's shadows. And her character was the only one that couldn't hide in shadows. So she would just walk down, she had a hammer And she was a scion, so she had this little hammer that she would hold. It's like a fake weapon. And she would walk down the hallway, and it would be like 3 other characters that were hiding inside of each other's shadows, hiding behind her. They were all like sandmen, like walking in unison, hiding behind this one little stumpy scion. She's like, eh. So whenever she'd get attacked, the team would jump out of the shadow from behind her and ambush whoever got closest. This was like their common tactic. And when they upgraded, she got a 10-foot pole. So she had a hammer in one hand and she was tapping a head with a 10-foot pole. Everyone was still hiding in her shadow. It was so ridiculous. Oh my God. That team was like 90% shenanigans. So much fun. God, I love those guys. Oh, so fun. How do you think you can eat before you... How many crystals can you eat? Oh, man, I don't know. Make a Constitution saving throw, and increase the DC by 1 for every spoonful. It's like Captain Crunch from hell. I think I want to. I think I've abused this dog enough for now, right? Oh, that's the piece de resistance right there. Get these shoulder blades up. Ah, that's grisly. That is just grisly. Just watching those tendons wrapping around its body and up into the shoulder. Ah, that's great. I used to get in trouble in high school because I'd draw zombie animals on my books. I do stuff like this a lot in high school. I was what you'd call a disturbed child, I guess. Yeah, that placement doesn't feel right. I can't get away with not showing that hind leg because there's like not a lot of pooch to conceal. There we go. I can do that. Bow-legged bitch. Pardon the pun. Maybe I can roll down the hips a bit. Oh God, that's just somehow made it look even more broken. Oh, such a. Its stance is too wide. I need to pull this in. Let's free transform and then skew. That should do. And then we can skew this back out. Free transform. Stop. Needs a little more. Good times, guys. Good times. Oh, do we want to do Sad Poochie? Little Beggy Paw. No, we're losing the angles. I gotta go back. Let's take this back before we lose the lead. There, move the shoulder blade there. Help balance out the anatomy a bit. Dragging one leg behind it. Oh, sad pupper. Genitalia obscura. The role-playing game no one asked for. Certainly not the 5e killer. You're right. We should move on from this. Thanks, Timely Timer, for keeping us in time. So yeah, we got. I'm actually really happy with this. That's a dingy doggy. That's about as pathetic. That turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. I need to make sure that this isn't mistaken as a shadow. So we need to plof that out a bit and fill this in and get some more ribbed distance up in there. Up in here. Up in here. That's a good place though. Yeah, I'm happy with how sad that is. Cool. That's oh god, this is gonna be so fun to detail. Man, I'm really looking forward to that. That's gonna be fun. What's up? Do. No, that's yeah. Very, very content with this, my friends. Plague Hound, sad, but done. Ooh, Drown Assassins. Don't know if I'm being sarcastic or not. Fair. Drown, ass in. Not to be confused with the ass in vines that we did earlier. Ass in vines. Now we're doing drowned ass ins. So let's we still got some time left. We can sketch out some drownies. Drowned assassin. Let's go look That's what drowned assassins am. Let's go to D&D Beyond. Ass in. Drown ass in. Hey there, whoa. Aren't you looking Davy Jones-ish? I wonder when this was painted. Maybe sometime after the second Caribbean movie came out? Don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Let's see if there's a description. The drowned assassin stalks and kills on a grim pantomime of its former occupation, sneaking from shadow to shadow and appearing in the undead assaults of Tamarut's fate. It aims its barnacle-encrusted hand crossbow with deadly precision hidden behind a simple driftwood mask. This creature's face causes terror in mortal hearts when exposed. Blue rot. This disease targets humanoids. While afflicted with blue rot, a victim grows grotesque blue boils on their face and back. This disease is carried by undead, including the drowned ones of the Tamarut's fate, and victims must often acquire it through wounds caused by infected creatures. The disease's boils manifest in D4 hours, causing the victim's constitution and charisma scores to decrease by D4 each to a minimum of 3. This is quickly followed by a fever and tingling in the extremities. An infected creature is vulnerable to radiant damage and gains the ability to breathe underwater. At the end of each of these long rests, an infected creature makes a DC 12 Constitution saving throw on a success. The victim regains 1 point of con and 1 point of charisma lost to the disease. If the infected creature regains all of the points lost to the disease, it's cured! Other effects that raises the victim's ability scores do not cure the disease. On a failed saving throw, the victim takes 18 d48 necrotic damage as the boils burst and spread. A creature reduced to 0 hit points by this damage cannot regain hit points until the disease is cured, though it can be stabilized as normal. Good. Well, I would recommend that you have a paladin in your party. Jeebus, these things are nightmares. There's a lot of them too. If you are just stupid and you just go stumbling into water while you're in the manifest zone, like all this rotten, disgusting water, you just go wading your way in, you're gonna be kissing grits with these guys, my guy. Bad news bear everywhere. Despair. Let's get grinding. Oops, I had some bass nectar in my mind apparently. Must be this song. Body horror is a lot of fun. I don't have I never really got into the horror role-playing industry at all, but I know my style of sketching would fare well. It's just I've always been so in love with the fantasy genre of RPGs. It's just never really motivated me to get involved in it. But I do enjoy the opportunity. Feeling a twist going on here with that body. And I'm getting a real 3E vibe off of this guy. What's up? I'm a pro ass man. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll spread out and go in that direction someday. Maybe I'll get excited about doing something like that. But yeah, I could see that very, very easily. Thanks for the compliment. That feels off. Let's try that again. Actually, let's just isolate our anatomy and then work the legs separately. I like that angle. That feels pretty good. We're gonna have that stuff separate from the actual chest structure that we're working on here. So we can take this limb and droop it down here like that. What's up? Right on, Willie. I'm only gonna be here for like maybe 10 minutes, so I'm gonna be bouncing out of here pretty quickly myself. So you have a good night and spend some time with the fam. And I'll be back tomorrow morning to work on our commission. And then I'll be back at doing this Monday night. We'll do Spelljammer Monday day, and Monday lunch we're gonna work through another. Monk archetype for the martial power stuff. So I'll just say I don't expect to be able to see you again until I'm out of here, man. So thanks a lot for chilling with me. Good times, dude. Real good times. Yeah, I got an alarm that's gonna pop in 8 minutes, and then we're gonna call it quits because I'm my gal should be finishing up her day here pretty shortly, and I think she has plans for leftovers. And if my gal has plans about leftovers, I want to be a part of it. We can be here like this, like this droopage we got going on. This is good stuff. Why are you not just thank you? One of these days, I'm going to build an RPG supplement that's just line art and sketches and ink, like stuff like this, but you know, more detail. I get so excited about coloring things, and before I know it, I'm like, the details got it, and then I'm getting involved in like these 20-hour pages, and the whole project turns into Spelljammer. And takes for fucking ever, but I just can't help it. But I really want to, maybe something that's not D&D, something that's not DMsGuild. I can start going in a different direction, like index RPG type stuff. Big admirer of Hank and Vernon. Excuse me, I had some burps. Be a knee, like around, more like somewhere around here. There we go. That's a decent posture. That looks so fucking cool. Such a different language, like such a different body language than all the other stuff that we've built so far. I'm really loving the variety here. Feels so good. What's up? Hey, Chronix. You're always late to the party, my guy. I've got like 5 minutes left. I'm going to bounce out of here, but I love it when you swing by, guy. Thanks. Oops, let's merge. Merge! Merge! No, don't do it, merge! Oh no! Merge! Oops, wrong layer. There we go. Lump him up a little bit. What's up? Thanks, Chronic. I really appreciate that. I've been crafting it for both as a DM and as an artist for like 30 some odd years. So I mean, I've put in my hours. So it's nice. It's nice to have people that didn't grow up with me say, "Hey, your shit's cool." It's always very appreciated. No, I better leave that where it's at. This is gonna be such a badass adventure, man. Text. Nice, man. Excellent. I love this place being a study hall for artists and people that like D&D and stuff, or just, you know, the tapping of my keys when I'm between rants. And I know that I can help put people to sleep if I get on a really long tear. I just want to, you know, build a place where people feel safe to be able to do what they want to do. So. I think I want to keep that. All right. That is going to be it, my dudes. Oh god, you can like kind of see his face underneath all that crust. That's fucking perfect. Oh, this guy is also going to be just ridiculous fun to render. God, I am loving this set. This is going to be some just great work. God, I can feel my token skills leveling up in the process of doing this stuff. It's just going to be so sick. So sick when this shit gets built out. Oh man, I am excited about this future, my guys. I am super excited about this future. Good times. All right, we're gonna cut it here. I'm gonna be back in the morning in about 16 hours, around 9:30 ish is typical. And we're going to continue working on the book cover we have. We're going to be back on Monday morning to continue working on Spelljammer. We'll be back at Monday lunch to continue with Martial Powers. We'll be back Monday night with more of this stuff, which is just sketching just fills my soul with energy. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So thanks a lot, my guys. I'll see you guys on the other side. Y'all have a safe weekend if I don't catch you tomorrow. Later, Gators.